This video refers to the CN version of Ling from Tower of Fantasy. Global might have a lot of changes. Please use this reference at your own cost. You've probably gone around the community hearing people saying Ling is a must-have character. If you still don't know why, well, I'm here to break it down for you. She actually has many roles such as buffer, charger, breaker, sub DPS, but you can also play her as a main DPS, iframe, and the flexibility to fit in every team. Hi, my name is Zackie, but you can call me Zackie-Senpai. In this video, we're going to break down Ling's kit, her skill, and basically all the reason why I think she's a worthy similar card to pull for, especially basically for literally everyone. Ling has been on my team for a very long time in the CM version ever since I got her on day 1. So I'm actually playing her for a long time at 0 stars, so I might be lacking the experience to share you about her, but I'll give you whatever I know. Let's go on with introduction. Ling is a character that was introduced as the face of Tower of Fantasy 2.0, which is VRam. Her Chinese name is called Ling Ye, but often mispronounced as Ling Ye. She is a caretaker of Ruby and often referred by Ruby as Ling Ye Jiejie, meaning big sister Ling. Ling is very popular among the Miraria residents because of her father's reputation as the top executive of Miraria forces. She works under the Miraria security forces to preserve peace and had undergone training ever since she was just a little child. Ling weapon is a giant war fan, also referred by the Japanese as Teisan. Is it Teisan? I'm not really sure, but her weapon is named the Shadow Weaver, very similar to Temari from Naruto. Ling is the first official Tower of Fantasy story limited character, meaning she and her matrices will not be added to the standard banner. Ling falls under the element known as Altered, however the index team has named this element as Aberration. None of this, however, is an official name for the element, but if you go to the stat of our character in the global, you can see that there's a resistance for this element, and the same icon for the Aberration element is named Altered. So in this entire video, I will be referring this element as Altered momentarily. Reason number 1 to pull for Ling is of course the Altered element. Let's talk about the element first before we break Ling's kit down. Ling is the first character to have the element Altered. What is so special about this element? Reason number 1, this element scales with the highest stat you have on your character. As you can see right here, my Frost attack and my Altered attack is of the same stat. But that does not mean the Altered element become Ice attack, but rather it only scales with the Ice attack and acts as its own independent element. To prove my point, as you can see, this little boy over here is resistant to Ice weapon. So if I swap to Ling's weapon, the Shadow Weaver is gonna take Altered damage. So it's actually useful if you want a third weapon that can fit into any elemental build. I do have a case in the CN server that I do not main fire, but I can use Ling as a decent DPS. My fire might have a low stat scaling from my equipment, but my Altered element can still be carried by my Frost attack. As you can see right here, I might have a weak fire, but it still scales. So this is very useful, especially to join up a certain boss fight that's resistant to it. So it's actually very nice. Reason number 2. As you can see, Ling has 11.5 for both her charge and shatter rate. But her best way of doing shatter and charge rate is basically her charge attack. It does consume large amount of endurance, but after summoning a few, it actually stacks up and charge and shatter very easily. But of course, when it comes to other character, Ling just does decent breaker and charger. Her aerial attack, keeping her flying, is also just okay, and however her discharge is not really ideal for charging and shattering, but still make a great DPS as it deals a total of 813% altered element damage. Aside that, reason number 3 is that her discharge also grants her an iframe immunity for damage of 2.6 seconds, placing her second highest compared to the new character known as Annabella. Reason number 4. She has a passive buff on her weapon known as the Weapon Mastery. When you're using other weapons, you'll see a Night Bloom that will appear around enemy and explode, dealing 60% AoE damage. This Night Bloom appearance, however, is RNG. Reason number 5. She has a swimsuit that costs a lot. I have a video talking about it. This is just a break between the videos, so yeah, it's actually a really nice swimsuit, and it's really honestly worth it in my opinion. But F2P, do understand that it's very expensive. So her skill Moonlight Realm of the Moon is formed around you for 15 seconds and has a cooldown of 30 seconds. In the realm, you gain a 10% damage bonus, you can double jump multiple times, gain 20% increased jumping ability, and reduce stamina consumption by 50%, making her very useful when you're playing a little bit defensive and healing at the same time. You want to stay on top, but in the end, in 2.0 or 2.1, there's a lot of boss that can actually attack you on top of the air, but it is still way better when it comes to staying on the ground. Now, when you're inside the Moonlight realm, when you're using her if you're using her as a main DPS on hand. So if you're using her as a main DPS while you're inside the Moonlight realm, by main DPS I mean you're holding her as on the hand, and a Night Bloom will be generated near a target every 0.8 seconds, and it explodes, causing 60% damage. When using Shadow Weaver again inside Moonlight Realm, increase damage by 50% against target with less than 20% HP. Now, not very useful, so do you still want to use her as main DPS? Let's take a look at her third passive. When using Shadow Weaver inside Moonlight Realm, teleport away from the target when you are about to take damage. This has a cooldown of 10 seconds. Considering that the Moonlight Realm lasts for 15 seconds, I think you can only trigger this once unless you 6-star her, which you can summon the Moonlight Realm twice, which is also going to increase the Night Bloom damage. So here's the complicated thing about her Moonlight Realm. It actually buffs different elements depending on how you build your weapon. I'm going to give you one example over here. If I build 2 fire with Ling weapon, the Moonlight Realm will become the Realm of Fire. The Fire Realm increased burning duration by 4 seconds and is very good for debuff burn with Cobalt B and Annabella, and increase the flame damage to target with shield by 15%. So fire is actually not benefiting a lot. The one that benefits a lot is the Volt team. The Volt Realm increases Volt damage by 30%. Dodges have a 65% chance of not being consumed, which makes Bayuki very strong. Bayuki is a dash attacker, but she can't do it like Freak, so it's a little bit of a downside there. And dodge attack by Bayuki and any other attack like Tianlang as well. Attack and dodge attack damage increased by 35% if Volt resistance passes is up. Now you're gonna be running Nemesis and Tianlang. Tianlang has Volt reaction while Nemesis have Volt resonance. Now the buff of the 20% or the whatever percent Global is giving is not gonna stack, but so long as Volt Resonance is running behind the background, even though it does not stack, it will still benefit. So this further increased Volt damage by 30% and another 30%, making it a total 60% in total Volt damage. So this is going to benefit Volt a lot, considering that we are not sure whether we are getting Bayuki. It's fair to say that Ling actually buffs the Volt team a lot, so I'm really happy for this. The Frost Realm is a bit lacking in this department if you do not have Freak. So when enemy got hit 10 times, as you can see, Freak can dash attack and hits a lot more faster in the Frost Realm. And they will end, if they get hit 10 times, they enter Frostbite state for 15 seconds and receive 22% more frost damage. Physical actually benefits a lot as well. The Physical Realm increased damage by 150% when enemy has their shield up, making it unnecessary to even shatter the shield and still get some extra damage. If enemy has shield, they're literally resisting 50%, right? But if they have shield, it's 150%, so you don't even need to break them to deal more damage. That's actually very nice. So when you pair it with different elements, for example Ling, which is the Aberration, King, Fire, and Saki, Ice, the realm becomes Neutral Realm, which increases all attack by 15%, which is the least benefit and it sucks. So basically those are my very reasons why Ling is great. Let's cover her remaining kits as a extra detail because I want to make a better understanding to my audience. Her Simulacra at level 1 buffed her Night Bloom explosion by 15%, but at level 2 to 20%, the explosion will also reduce enemy resistance to all elements by 7% for 7 seconds. So not ideal in my opinion, considering Night Bloom only deals 70% damage. So that makes a total of 90% damage every time the Night Bloom explodes, but it's very strong when the Mirror Realm is up, as the Night Bloom appears every 0.8 seconds. However, that will only work if you are using her weapon in hand, meaning she's your main DPS most of the time during the battle. So if you want to main her as your main DPS, then I think the trait will be proved quite useful. However, at 3-star, while in the Moonlight Realm, the Night Bloom appears every 0.3 seconds instead of 0.8 seconds, dealing an even massive damage over time. Not only that, the Night Bloom now attaches to the enemy. The duration of Moonlight Realm is increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds, and if you got her to 6-star, I'm not sure if different, like Moonlight Realm's gonna keep stacking. It seems you can summon 2, but at least you don't have cooldown in between, right? So my recommendation for Ling for her is F2P is definitely 0 star. It's gonna work very good as a 0. It's gonna work very good as a survivability, shatter, charge, and sub DPS. But if you want to make her as your main DPS, I recommend you to make her as 3 star. But yes, of course, 6 star is definitely worth it. Yes, more star is always better, increase in attack growth. And 6 star, no cooldown in between, allowing your Night Bloom to explode even more. For matrices wise, as usual, Crow and Samir, but Tsubasa is better than Samir in the scenario if you are flying, because you have to get at least 4 meters away from the enemy, right? But pretty useless if you're fighting close range or even have support close range weapon. A 4-piece is indeed the best if you are running her as sub DPS or even a support. 2-piece seems okay, seems like a better version of Samir. As for team, she fits with any team, but for best team, Saki Freak Ling for Ice, Annabella Ruby Ling for Fire, Kolya Mark Ling if Mark is coming, if not Lyra for physical, Tianlang, Nemesis, and Ling. Really just, she just benefits Woke the best. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I know this is the CN version, but a lot of people at least wanted to know some of these character kits to make them make better decision in saving. These reads rest solely on yourself, as I'm just providing you reference, but considering Ling is a limited character, she most likely going to be still very strong as they're gonna make money, right? So I will be making content covering all these future CN character, as it does help a lot of people in making better decision. We know that a lot of their kits does change. The mechanics of the character don't change, but the number, the value, and the buff, overall everything is getting some changes, right? So I'm gonna be covering Annabella next, since a lot of people are deciding regarding whether they should pull for Cobalt B or not, followed by Saki Fuwa because that's the most requested, and then Lyra. My name is Zackie here, and it's just a gaming channel.